Welcome to the Strong Life Coach Divine Mind Moment. Today, let's look at one proverb from the 10th chapter in that book. Here's what we have. It says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. And what you see is these two concepts contrasted. You have the concept of laziness compared against the concept of diligence. Of course, it exalts diligence as the means to bring wealth into your journey. So sometimes we get a little bit confused about diligence, about what it actually is. Let's clarify what it's not. It actually doesn't mean busy, because many of us can become busy. And if you're anything like me, with all of the distractions in life, and I believe personally that the enemy of accomplishments is distraction. The enemy of accomplishment isn't failed attempts. But it's truly the enemy of accomplishment is distraction. And the way I describe me, I call myself, it's true, I find that my personality seems to be easily distracted and endlessly fascinated. So it's so easy for me to go down the rabbit hole of exploring something new or something else or someone. I could be watching a Netflix show and all of a sudden I see an actor and I'm like, I wonder where I saw him before. And before you know it, I'm searching and figuring out, where I know him from, what other movies, what other shows, and I'm just going down this entire rabbit hole of a journey on one actor or one actress. Now, it's similar though, even with social media. I could pull up Facebook 25 times in a day, not because I'm looking for anything. I just pull it up. That automatic component of the day to day. Again, I come back to the enemy of accomplishments is distraction. Now, diligence, according to this concept, according to this verse, according to this scripture, it's part of the pathway to wealth. So if I'm going to be pursuing wealth in my business, in my career, in my life, in my journey, then diligence is one of those it's one of those divinely inspired concepts to help me to get there, to help you to get there. So if you're like me, easily distracted, endlessly fascinated, we can have a lot of squirrel moments in our life. And I read some of the data that some of the data said that we on average are distracted once every 11 minutes. And then often it takes about that time to recover from the distraction, to get back into the focused mode. Again, if you're like me, I probably am on the far other end of that 11-minute recovery. For me, I think it takes about 40 minutes to recover once I've gone from that focused mode to distracted. So it takes about 40 minutes or so for me to recover. Now, to bring this back, to make this practical, so diligence isn't distraction, it isn't busyness, but diligence is focus. And there's a couple of things that I've been using recently that's helping that component of diligence, focus, and into accomplishments. For example, let me tell you a few. So when I'm on my laptop, when I'm on my computer, I will mindlessly go to ESPN.com. I will mindlessly even type in NBA news and look at any relevant articles. I'll mindlessly, when I'm on my phone, go to Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and I'll mindlessly go to certain websites, not with any purpose, but more distraction, being more distracted. So here's a few concepts that are helping me on this road of diligence. Number one, there's this plugin you could put into your Chrome browser. It's called Block Site. And what it is you can use this plugin to block you from going to certain sites. So for me, if you went to my plugin, you would see that I put ESPN.com there. So if I put ESPN.com mindlessly, I would get a block site with a picture of an old lady or a picture of a man or a picture of a cat, and they're saying something like "No way, Jose." Now I could click the edit the sites blocked, and for me to unblock those sites, my password in this one program, it's I am productive and effective. There's another way of saying I'm diligent. Now, usually by the time I see the block site and by the time I'm typing in I am productive and effective, then what happens is I snap out of the mindlessness and get back to mindfulness and get back to purpose. And clearly, this also applies to rest and relaxation. I know as a coach, I'm often talking about productivity and effectiveness, but it also applies to being focused and in the moment, even when you're resting, when you're relaxing. If ESPN.com is something you do to rest and relax, more power to you. What I'm saying is, I will mindlessly go there when it's not actually helping me to accomplish what I want to accomplish. So you'll look at mine, you'll see LinkedIn.com, Instagram.com, Facebook.com. You'll see these sites that will block me when I'm on my laptop from going to them, and in order for me to edit them out, I have to click the edit the block sites, type in a password, which is, again, mine is I am productive and effective, and then I can unblock the site and go to it. That helps me. It jolts me out of mindlessness and gets me back on purpose. Number 2, you can rearrange your phone. What I've been working on recently, I haven't mastered this, but what I've been working on recently is if I'm going to Facebook mindlessly, then it's a good time for me to rearrange my phone. That might be deleting the Facebook app, and I've done that. And I've probably deleted 3 or 4 times a week, and then or deleting Instagram, deleting LinkedIn, and then again make it a little bit more difficult for me to go back and re-download the app. For me, this is what it looks like. When I rearrange my phone, I will number one delete some of the apps that I will mindlessly go to. Number 2, you can actually use one of the functions in the iPhone to take the App Store away. So I can't even go into the App Store. But you can undo that function, for me, that's a jolt out of the mindlessness and a jolt back to purpose. So these are 2 things that are helping me. Again, the whole point with the divine mind moment is to think about what is that divine perspective, that divine mind, that God mindset, that principle it gives to us for us to use for our lives, for our own benefit. So diligence, and in being aware of what diligence is and what it's not. I think we could easily label what's lazy, but I don't put distraction or busyness as the same thing as being diligent. So anyway, if you're somebody like me who's easily distracted, endlessly fascinated, these principles might help you, and you might come up with your own. Feel free to go and let me know, what do you do to jolt yourself out of the fascination, to jolt yourself out of being distracted? Let me know. Thank you for joining me on today's Strong Life Coach Divine Mind Moments. Thank you.